February 2015. RadioShack files for bankruptcy with $5.2 billion in debt. The company that invented the personal computer market was closing 1,784 stores in a single day. This is the story of a company that had everything, saw the future before everyone else, and still managed to destroy itself from the inside. RadioShack launches the TRS-80, one of the first mass-market personal computers. It costs $600. Within a year, they sell 100,000 units, outselling both Apple and Commodore combined. By 1982, RadioShack is everywhere. They have over 7,000 stores. They are in more locations than McDonald's. Their strategy is simple. Put a store within 5 minutes of every American home. If you need batteries, cables, resistors, a walkie-talkie, or any electronic component, RadioShack is the only place to go. They are so dominant that when you walk in, employees immediately ask for your phone number and address to add you to their customer database. No purchase necessary. They just want your data. It becomes so annoying that customers start giving fake numbers just to get through checkout. But the business is printing money. Peak revenue, $5.3 billion in 1999. Then the internet arrives, and RadioShack does something remarkable. They completely ignore it. While Best Buy is expanding big box stores and Amazon is building an e-commerce empire, RadioShack is still trying to sell you a $3 cable from a mall kiosk. The leadership genuinely believes their physical footprint is unbeatable. Their chairman, Leonard Roberts, says in 2000 that RadioShack's advantage is being, quote, in neighborhoods, not in some remote warehouse. He is catastrophically wrong. Because while RadioShack is paying rent on 7,000 stores, Amazon is paying rent on one website. And customers no longer need to drive 5 minutes for a cable when they can click once and have it delivered tomorrow. Sales start dropping in 2000, and they never recover. But instead of rethinking the business model, RadioShack panics and makes it worse. They try to become a mobile phone carrier. They rebrand to, quote, The Shack, with a bizarre marketing campaign that confuses everyone. They partner with Target to put mini RadioShacks inside Target stores, cannibalizing their own locations. They close 1,000 stores, then 500 more, then another 100. But they are still paying leases on thousands of locations they no longer need, bleeding cash every month. The asset that once made them dominant, their massive retail footprint, has become an anchor pulling them under. By 2014, the company is dying in public. A financial blog runs an article titled, quote, Here is what it is like inside a dying RadioShack. Employees describe standing in empty stores for hours with no customers. One manager says the only people who come in are asking for directions or to use the bathroom. The company tries one last desperate move. They announce they are pivoting to become a makerspace and hobbyist destination, selling drones and 3D printers. It is far too late. February 2015, bankrupt. The company is sold for parts. A hedge fund buys the name and tries to relaunch it 3 separate times. All 3 fail. Today, a few dozen RadioShack stores still exist, mostly franchises in Mexico and small independent dealers using the name under license. But the RadioShack that mattered, the one that defined consumer electronics retail for 3 decades, is gone. So what actually killed RadioShack? The obvious answer is the internet, but that is incomplete. Best Buy faced the same internet. They survived by becoming a showroom for high-end electronics, offering installation services and price-matching Amazon. RadioShack never adapted because they misunderstood what they were. They thought they were a store. They were actually a distribution network for scarce components. Once components were no longer scarce, the distribution network lost its purpose. The lesson is not about retail versus e-commerce. It is about understanding why customers need you in the first place. When that reason disappears, no amount of rebranding, store closures, or pivots will save you. RadioShack spent 2 decades fixing the wrong problem. By the time they realized what they actually needed to do, the market had moved on without them. Which company collapse should we examine next? Let me know in the comments.